Cricbuzz Chatter, Adam Collins and Mike Hussey. An hour ago, I think we were going to say, pretty good day for England, but losing 4 wickets in that extraordinary final hour after an extraordinary hour to start the day with a COVID scare. I'm completely discombobulated. It feels as though England are completely shot. They're going to lose in 3 days the way this is tracking. What happened?
I'm still trying to work it out myself. It was a bizarre start to the day, wasn't it? When we heard we were doing the pre-game, we were getting ready for a big day's Test cricket. We heard England are still at the team hotel. There's COVID cases. We weren't sure if the Test match was even going to go ahead today. Thankfully, they tested negative. And they had to isolate a couple of I think staff members and family members. The rest of the players were okay, so they could get down, start the Test match. And then I thought England actually bowled really well. They stuck at their task really well. I think they took 9 for just over 200 today. Jimmy Anderson showed his class again. Wow, what a performance from him. I thought he bowled beautifully, particularly to the left-handers. Deserved a 5-wicket haul, but ended up with 4. Was well supported by the other bowlers as well. And you thought, well, England have got themselves back in the Test match. They've shown a bit of heart, they've shown a bit of spirit and some good character, especially after the dodgy start they got to. They managed to get into a decent position. But then, as you mentioned, that last hour of play was just absolutely incredible. The Aussies, everything just went right for them. They had the ball moving. The English batsmen, they had so much pressure on them. They just couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't score. They couldn't get off strike. The Aussie bowlers were sensational.
I've been coming here my whole life to the Boxing Day Test, Mike. You played in a number of them as a player. You've been here in the media in years since. Only 42,500 people or something like that here today. I've rarely heard it as loud as that when Mitchell Starc was on a hat trick this far away from claiming one as well. Joe Root facing the music after he knocked over Crawley and Milan in consecutive deliveries. It's all a bit of a blur at the moment. But that was Mitchell Starc's contribution. Scott Boland goes bang bang at the end. Mitchell Starc, a maligned cricketer in many respects, certainly coming into this series. What a performance so far. At Adelaide last week, 7 wickets. Here, immaculate this evening.
Yeah, he's been criticised in the past for just losing the radar and spraying balls around. He can bowl those unplayable balls and pick up wickets, and that's been one of his strengths. But I feel as though in the last couple of Test matches, he's really reined that radar in. He's been consistent. The pace has been good. Yep. He looks confident, and he threatens, the top order batsmen as well. So today it was beautiful bowling. It wasn't getting a lot of swing, but still his areas were good, and angling across the right-hander back into the left-hander. It's always difficult to play. That's why having a left-arm pace bowler, it just adds that variety. It's something a bit different, and batters struggle with it. So he was absolutely superb again. It was so close to a hat-trick. And imagine that would have just been a dagger in the heart for England if he got Joe Root out with the hat-trick. I think that would have been the end of them. They might not have turned back up tomorrow.
I think Marnus Labuschagne thought they had it. He was leaping in the air, as Marnus tends to do. I was leaping in the air in the commentary box as well, I must say. But that wasn't to be. England tomorrow, we'll come back to that in a moment. We're just going to jump back to England's bowling performance, because Australia actually had the chance to lance the game, probably in the middle order, but Head and Carey and to an extent Cameron Green all played shots they'd rather take back, I think. And it did open the door for a while for England. Then some very handy runs. Again, Australia's lower order. Today it was Mitchell Starc and Patrick Cummins.
Yeah, I think it's the sort of pitch that you never actually really feel in on. Marcus Harris batted extremely well today for his 70-odd, but there was lots of times he played and missed and struggled to get the momentum going with the scoring. So there's going to be a ball that's got your name on it. There's going to be a time when you lose concentration because there's other things going on in your mind. And you're not going to be proud of the shot that you get out on. But I think it's that sort of pitch. I personally think it's a fantastic pitch here at the MCG. Yep. It creates a good contest. The bowlers are in the game. There's certainly some movement there. But you can score runs if you bat well. You need a bit of luck, no question. But you're right, the Aussies sort of just chipped away, got a small lead, and then just kicked on at the end. I think there were some handy runs from Mitchell Starc and Pat Cummins towards the end that just built that lead up to close to 80, I think, in the end. And it proved to be quite a lot. With England now 4 for 31 at stumps, they're still fair way behind. Yeah,
they moved from handy runs to kind of crucial runs by the time the lead was finished on 82. James Anderson 4 for 33, a couple for Wood who bowled so quickly. Robinson with a hamstring complaint still took 2. Jack Leach in the series. So they kind of combined quite nicely after that COVID scare, and we shouldn't brush over that. That would have taken the wind out of England's sails this morning, but they did manfully throughout and did bowl out Australia. When it comes to Australia, you reference Marcus Harris. He was probably playing for his career today. Top scored with 76, so he'll get a bit of breathing room, but you would have been there as a player as well. Playing for your career, it takes it to a whole nother level of urgency.
Yeah, you got to feel for the players when they're in that situation, because there's nothing you can do as a teammate to try and help them. They've got to go out there and do it themselves. And look, to be honest, there've been challenging batting conditions. And as an opening batsman, you're going to get balls that are going to get you out. He hasn't done a lot wrong. He just hasn't been able to get through and go on and make a big score. So I think today he'll be disappointed that he didn't go on and get 100. But he'll be very relieved that he was able to get a significant score in difficult conditions again, and that'll just take the pressure off. It'll take it'll keep the Wolves at bay and the media attention off him and people talking about his place in the team, which I don't care what anyone says. You know it's out there, and it does put extra pressure on you. Even if players say they don't listen to it or they don't read it or it doesn't bother them, I'm telling you it does. You know it's there. So he can just relax now for a little bit, but this game, it's pretty brutal. It'll come back around pretty quickly again if you miss out a few more times.
You can tell Hussey Adam that. He's had quite the brutal couple of weeks. Yeah. All right, Huss, let's jump into the hotspot. In the hotspot, James Anderson, 39 years of age, 4 for 33, barely a run on the tad and over throughout the course of some beautiful spells. Knocked over Steve Smith, did it in repeat spells. He's getting quicker as he gets older, leading the attack. What a phenom.
Oh, he's unbelievable. Just for a fast bowler to play as many Test matches as he has, you've got to respect that longevity. But he keeps his quality up all the time. He's just so good because he can just get the ball in that right area over and over and over again. His skill and his consistency is a hallmark of his game, but he's got the skill to be able to move the ball both ways. And as a batsman, it's very, very difficult if you've got someone with that sort of skill, because he's challenging both of your edges. And we saw that exact thing today. He beat Steve Smith with the ball nipping back, catching the inside edge onto the stumps. He managed to get balls coming from round the wicket to the left-hander to tail away from the left-hander, catching an outside edge. So that's what makes him so difficult, and a great competitor as well. But I just admire the longevity of the guy, to be able to keep himself fit, healthy, and keeping his quality up for such a long period of time as a fast bowler is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it felt like quite a balanced attack today as well, with Wood bowling above 150 clicks for most of it. Ollie Robinson doing so nicely, hitting the seam. Jack Leach kind of in the series, so it's such a shame that it's fallen away towards the closer play. And with that, we should press fast forward. All right, Huss, Joe Root, Ben Stokes in the middle tomorrow. They're sort of on a hiding to nothing, but with those two senior men in the middle, they can drag this deep. That much we know.
Well, if there's two players that can do it for England, it is Ben Stokes and Joe Root. But I think it's the last hope. And the Australians will be cock-a-hoop tonight. They'll be so happy with the way that last hour panned out. They'll know that they're going to have to break this partnership, but there's enough in that pitch. And so I know what they'll be saying in the Australian camp overnight. They'll be saying, right, we just need to be patient. We need to be disciplined. We just need to get enough balls in the right area to create a chance or two. There'll be so much pressure on both Root and Stokes. As we've spoken about this pitch, there's been enough in it the whole Test match, and it will continue to seem throughout the Test match. So it's going to be extremely difficult for them. I think they're going to need luck if they are to get through, but they're two world-class players and you cannot write them off. I guess for their sake, they're going to have to find a way to get through the first hour. Try and get the hardness out of that ball. Try and rotate the strike if they possibly can and frustrate the Australian bowlers, and then gain some confidence from that. And then as the ball gets a little bit older, and hopefully the pitch flattens out a little bit more, then there might be the opportunities to sort of strike, build a bit of a lead, and you never know. They're going to need, I think they'd need at least 150 to try and really put some pressure on the Australians, but it's going to be very, very difficult for them.
England still 51 in arrears. They've lost 4 second innings wickets already. A quite chaotic day here at the MCG, an electrifying one as well. Follow all of Day 3's action on Cricbuzz, on the scorecards, in the blog, and at Stumps. Adam Collins, Mike Hussey here for Cricbuzz Chatter. Good night from the MCG.